Hey guys, Ranjan here, bringing you a stock of commentary. This is gonna be the first set in the round of 16 between Fantasy and Calm. They're gonna be facing off on match point to start things off. We're gonna have Calm the upper right position as the teal zerg. We're gonna have Fantasy at the bottom left hand position as the yellow terran. So after the insanity that was the last matchup, I'm actually bringing you guys a real commentary. Excuse me. Cast that last game, took like a half-hour break to watch some Let's Play videos, and I'm now back here to bring you guys some awesomeness. 34, 35, 36. Anyway, this is going to be Calm against Fantasy. I'm really expecting some, I'm expecting this to be one of the better series in this round of 16. These guys have had a bit of a rivalry. I think they're three versus 3 lifetime against each other, and recently went 1-1 against each other. So they've kind of throughout have always had some overall usually have had some pretty decent games. Well, it's either a good back and forth game or one guy totally dominating the other up to the point that it's kind of embarrassing. But really interesting to see this. Calm overall a very good player, of course. So is Fantasy. Calm's best matchup is against Protoss, while Fantasy's is against Protoss. I'm pretty sure actually. So these are not their best matchups. In fact, this is Fantasy's worst, I believe. But he doesn't really. He had that one period in time where he was killing a lot of zergs because of his very funky, interesting builds. But not doing that much anymore lately. It was actually last time the guy to go for some very funky, interesting Terran build against a zerg was actually Flash. So we're gonna see where Fantasy plays good old standard or tries to go for something interesting. Sending out a ACV scout right now on the opposite side. I think I saw Comfort go for an overpull. Oh god, I just wanted to get one more game out of there. Feeling, I gotta give you guys some more stuff. Been neglecting y'all. Sorry. So I'm trying to make up for my negligence a little bit here. Try to bring you guys some more games tomorrow, but overall they're gonna be a little bit busy. Got some, real life stuff, exams, finals, doctor's appointments, girlfriends, new video games, stuff like that. Or rather, new old video games. But anyway, planning to get the scout in there, spotting what's going on. Pretty much expecting good old standard to happen here. And yeah, Fantasy gonna go for 1 Rex into command center. She's gonna try to play a medic marine build. And honestly, I really hope for Fantasy's sake that his M&M has improved, because about a year ago, his M&M was not good enough. Really, he always tries to mix up where the game did not always come down to his M&M control, just to his M&M micro. But he has significantly improved since then, I believe. Not quite at the level of, say, Flash, but still much better than he used to be. Calm, still a very good player, very technical player, but he knows that if he gets his mutas out there and catches Fantasy, he's going to be in good position. Fantasy, of course, got into that trouble on this map. Did not go for Engineer Bay for some reason until extremely late. Didn't have any turrets, or really didn't have at all enough to defend inside of his base. He was going for pretty standard play, but just apparently expecting lurkers rather than anything else. Still keeping the CV scout alive. Spotting the lair is not going to be able to keep it alive long enough to spot the lair coming up, but going to be able to at the very least keep it alive long enough to stop it and possibly let it die, interestingly enough. But he is putting up a bunker at the front. Pretty good standard play for him. He's playing a little bit safely, putting out a bunker at the front. Going to have some marines to put inside there. Getting his refinery, he's going to have his academy and tech going very soon. I'm wondering whether he's going to put down his eBay before his academy, just to get those turrets up sooner and to try to get the weapons zone upgraded. If you manage to get your range, sometimes gets late, so you kind of decide you want the weapons 1 sooner or you want the range sooner. You just go and just standard play academy. But sometimes players decide to go to Engineer Bay because they want to get the weapons 1 sooner. And getting those weapons 1 pretty soon allows you to really rip into those mutalisks. Your range gets delayed though when you do that, so you kind of have to take the good with the bad. Hope that you can kind of save yourself due to the lack of range with stim and weapons 1 and turrets particularly. But actually we saw Calm going for a Hydra stand, so Fantasy's going to have to wait for his scan to come up before he scouts this. Hopefully he gets some quick scan going as soon as he gets that academy up. But yeah, Calm gonna go for lurkers, so Flash could get in trouble if he gets caught off guard right now. Also actually going to pick up a third quick hatchery. So interestingly enough here, Calm actually going on a hatching very aggressive. Wondering, setting out a drone. Is he actually going to send another to the low right hand and expand yet again? That'd be absolutely insane. Take a sip, take a sip. So yeah, we do see the Calm statistic coming up. So so Fantasy will know pretty soon what is the Calm's going for. Calm expanding, double expanding. Wow. Talk about audacity right here. He's not at all nervous, like, I'm ready for you. He of course also knows that Fantasy's not going to have a large enough army. They have some Drogies on the ground, going to get some work. Probably going to be able to get some work. Because Fantasy's going to plop down a second bunker, and I think, is that a turret in between them? I think that might be a turret. He's readying himself right now to react for the lurker bust, but he doesn't know about this double expo, so he doesn't know that a lurker bust is not coming. Spire also inside the main, interestingly enough, here for Calm. So I'm wondering whether this is actually a complete fake out for him, because if it is, it's absolutely beautiful play here for Calm. I think this is just an absolute fake out for him. I think I think this is a hydrogen fake out, so he can pretty much pick up those 2 extra bases without Fantasy knowing about it. So this could come out extremely well for him, extremely badly, but this is obviously very well thought out move by Calm. He knows exactly what he's trying to do. He has some Zerglings out there. He has to be very careful. There are a couple of fire bats in there, so he might not want to go in and engage, because fire bats, of course, will engage rip his Zerglings to pieces. And he wants every single one of his Zerglings out in the field, just in case this backfires on him. But yeah, he's saturating like crazy right now. Factory on the way now for Fantasy, and he's not really producing that large an army. He's just playing a little bit defensive, trying to get his forces up there. There we go. I was like, oh, Academy. What's the Academy not blinking? But yeah, range on the way. Evo Jeez, an Evo Chamber as well. So I'm not altogether too sure. So he still might be going for lurkers. Wonder whether he's gonna do like full-on lurker wing. Lurker wing Muta. I think this might actually be a quick Guardian build. I'm not altogether sure, but I think Calm might be going for a lurker, sort of a lurker Guardian combo. Not to get it overall too sure. Still only on the lair, so still on, not getting his hive. He's going to be able to get his hive very quickly, adding in more production hatches, but he's going to be able to get a hive very quickly as soon as he establishes that third gas, and denying the scout with that SCV. Beautiful play for him overall. Fantasy's going to be able to push out a little bit, maybe go out there and force a few Sunkens to come down, but he really needs to get the scan and notification, run towards the low right-hand position. It's very vulnerable, has nothing to defend it so far. If Fantasy would run towards the low right-hand position, he'd be able to rip that to pieces. Just a couple of Hydras waiting for him outside the mineral only. They're not going to be able to engage. They're waiting for waiting until they become lurkers before anything else. So some drones actually going to go to the lower position. I'm wondering whether Fantasy scans or not, because actually moving towards the doors, they're going to be drone coming to their location as well. Hydra's going to be the only thing close by, even relatively close by to defend this. Fantasy meal going to go down there. Going to be one creep colony coming down. Might not turn into a second. We're going to see what Fantasy not quite in the position to go. And there's going to be able to go up this ramp. We're going to see if he'll actually go for this or not. Calm's going to be hard pressed. Sunken colony still not morphing in. Still don't know if he's spotted this. Fantasy now finally going to go for the Queen Test already on the way for Calm. So he's going to rush the high right now, but still pretty bad position for him. Yeah, instantly, the minute he saw those fours, he got gulped. You saw that. They're trying to morph into Sunken. It might morph in and maybe get one shot off before it gets killed, but altogether not too sure. Lurker is going to be coming in, though. At the very least, I think Calm saved every single one of his drones, but he really did not want to lose that base. Thankfully, this really equalizes the position a lot. Calm didn't really manage to get too much mining done in this lower end, but did not manage to utilize his third gas too well. He's going to have some lurkers and Zerglings out there. So if he manages to completely decimate this army, this little force of Fantasy is going to be able to, count as pretty well. Still has the 3 bases up. Still has that. Still has the mineral only as well. If he wants to pick up a second gas, he might want to do it at 12 o'clock instead of the low right-hand position. Might be just a little bit safer for him with lurkers out there as well. It might just be overall a better position for him to take. Civis now, meanwhile, milling around for Fantasy. Still not picking up the mineral only. He's just going to be safe on 2 bases for now, adding in barracks. And going to get his science vessels out there before he does anything else. Still does not have a very large army overall. Weapons won't upgrade. He's going to meet those lurkers. Catch him in transition. Oh, and not a single lurker dies, interestingly enough. Caught completely in transition. Not enough focus firing. Just not enough forces in that one single grouping with long enough range. Meanwhile, Calm obviously taking my advice because I am a very smart individual. Intellectual that I am. 12 o'clock position. He's going to pick up the third gas at 12 o'clock position. If he manages to take that, he's going to be able to get his hive up very comfortably. Still not overall too sure what he was going for. He has some Scourge out there. And I don't know. I think I don't know if that was for Scourge, because I think that Spire was very fast for Scourge. Yeah, this was just his readying himself for some teching. Funky stuff going up for him. Oh, Workers caught it, catching some of those Medic Marines. Dear loved it. But yeah, I'm still not quite overall too. She has some Scourge out, but I'm not altogether too sure why he got that Spire so quickly. Might have delayed it a little bit, get some more forces out, get some forces out there before she went for that Spire. Now scans coming off, spotting some Lurkers for Fantasy, but doesn't have any tanks out there, and not a very large grouping, so he cannot be engaging those Lurkers as he is right now. Gonna have to wait for this initial Science Vessel and some tanks to support alongside before he decides to do anything. He does have some forces back at home that are just going to meet these ragtag group. I think he picked up another medic. Calm, meanwhile, has some Scourge in the air, bunch of Zerglings, bunch of Lurkers, Hive on the way, Defaller Mounts, so it'll be very quick Defaller Mount. Scourge out there, I suppose, just going to be out there to try to pick off the Science Vessels and not get a large enough number.